Children exposed to gang violence may end up in jail or dead. That's the reality of children in places like the Cape Flats and Hanover Park in Cape Town. Even the deployment of the army has failed to silence the guns. The eNCA is continuing to hear heartbreaking stories as part of Child Protection Week. eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda has more on this story. He's joining us now this hour. And by the way, Ronald, I'm sure you are aware, it is International Day of the Protection of the Child today, being June the 1st, and you were on the Cape Flats earlier today. What did the families of the children who've been recently killed there tell you?
Pradan, good afternoon. So we revisited families of 2 children who died back in 2019 and last year. We visited the family of Aisha Kelly, a young girl at 10 years old who was shot and killed while on her way to the shop. The family is saying, Pradan, that they are having extra precaution with the remaining children. They ensure that the children are escorted to the shops and at schools at all times. They're not only fearing the threat of gang violence that has flared up in Tafelsig, but also the issue of kidnappings, which seem to be on a high. We also visited Beacon Valley. That's where we met the family of Tamir Mitchell. He was shot and killed last year, and he and another young person also died in a shootout where 3 or 4 other people were injured in the shooting. And the family there was telling us that their biggest fear is that they live on the same road where the incident happened, and this is a constant reminder of the untimely death of Tamir Mitchell, who died at the age of 13. We are also told that many children there are growing up in fear, not knowing whether or not similar attacks could occur, because especially during that time early last year, there were a number of shootings of that nature where drive-by shootings took place regularly. Some would say that it was part of the initiation where gangs tried to lure other gang members by committing such acts as shooting innocent children on the streets, but others are saying that maybe it's gang related, but the family is saying Tamir Mitchell was definitely not part of any gang at the age of 13, and they are also practicing extra precaution to ensure the safeguarding of their kids. We also spoke to a social worker early in the day, and she said that this also has a devastating effect on the mindset of children growing up being exposed to such killings, because even yesterday alone, Pradan, there was also a vigilante attack where someone was accused of trying to kidnap a child. He was killed by an angry community in Parkwood here in Cape Town.
Now, some of the families, what are they saying? I mean, I understand that some of them are willing to resort to anything, to do anything within their power in order to protect their children.
Yes, so what seems to be a scourge here in Cape Town at the moment is the kidnappings, children being kidnapped either on their way to school and when they leave school. And the speculation is rife that there could be a syndicate behind this, because in Bellville last week there were images of a child around the ages of 15, 16. She was kidnapped and taken into a car. We also heard earlier today a child who escaped a near kidnapping. There's also another case where another teenager apparently stabbed a alleged kidnapper during that confrontation. But what took place yesterday in Parkwood could also be mistaken as an alleged kidnapping that has gone wrong, or people could have attacked and killed someone who was completely not in the wrong. But what we got from Parkwood earlier in the day is that there's so many people who are panicking, not sure how to react and not sure who is lurking around the streets, because they are very cautious as to the people who are driving. We also even heard e-hailing service drivers also being targeted as suspected kidnappers in some areas here on the Cape Flats. The one lady that we spoke to in Tafelsig earlier, she was carrying an axe, Pradan. She says that she could use that axe at any moment if a child's life was under threat. This is what she had to say further.
I have to walk with an axe to protect myself and my child. So I am challenging Becky Kelly to come out to Tafelsig. Stop running to other places where your own house isn't clean, because we need his help. These police don't care. I'm sorry to say, but the police don't care. Well, honestly, we know most of the parents here. We know who comes fetch the children, drivers, we know. So there won't be any mistake. Because I stand there every day until the gates close of Tafelsig Primary. Until the gates close. So we know every person, every parent that come fetch the child, bring the child to school. So I will also say, but I don't know this car. I will tell the Bambanani, I don't know this car. We will go to the driver and ask before I let anyone else know what I'm talking about. Because the situation, like even yesterday, we don't know what the actual happening that took place there. But these kidnappings we as parents, we are panicking because our police visibility isn't there. So now we see a different, hey, who's this guy now? Who's this car now? Who's this taxi now? You see, so we as parents, we as a community, we are panic-stricken about this. We are worried. I have to send my kids to Tafelsig High School, but I'm at home, but my mind isn't at ease.
Those comments there by one mother who's really at pains to protect their child in that part of Cape Town, ending that update.